Welcome everyone to Blood on the Grand Strand, GM'd by our wonderful Buddy.
That's me. Welcome everybody to session 6 of Blood on the Grand Strand. Too late for saving. And our coterie is in a bit of a pickle this evening, but let's meet our vampires before we get into all that, starting with Harry.
Hi, I'm Harry. I played Dr. Galen Somnus, the Salubri. Well, it was nice knowing you. I'm gonna die.
Oh, ye of little faith. Kitsu?
Hello. One second, I've got everything. Okay, we're good. Okay, hello. Apologies for that. I had some audio issues, but yes, hello. I am Kitsu, Thorn Embers on Twitter. I play Astrid. And she's she's a Tremere, and she's a very staked Tremere right now. So not looking good over here.
Not at all looking good. Josh?
Hi, I'm Josh. I'm playing Hunter, I was going to say Salubri. No, Ravnos, who's at Hunger 4 right now and a little bit panicked, and yeah, we're in a lot of trouble.
Seems to be the running theme on everyone's minds tonight. And Chris.
Hi, I'm Chris, a Primogen, and I'm playing Anthony Tulip, the Tzimitzi. And I'm currently not in trouble. I could just leave town if I wanted, but I'm doing fine and dandy, although my clothes are wet.
And you are also at Hunger 4.
That is true. That's quite a pickle.
It is. And as Josh already said, I'm Huddy, your storyteller for this evening. And I want to remind everyone that this is a Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition actual play. We have talked over our safety and our consent, but if this is too much for you, please check in with yourself. Your safety is important to all of us playing. If you all are ready to jump right into where we left off in session 5, let's continue our vampire story. Because I could not stop for death, he kindly stopped for me. Each member of the coterie has been touched by death. They did not choose it, it chose them. And they emerged immortal, untouched by age and sickness, but it did not save them from death. Death is what they became, what they are, and what they fear more than they ever did in life. The members of our coterie are in the grips of that fear right now, 2 members. Astrid and Galen have been staked. Sharpened wood has pierced their hearts and left them immobile and extremely vulnerable to the people who have taken them. And as much as vampires become death upon their embrace, they also become the embodiment of hunger. Hunter and Anthony, the remaining members of the coterie, are on the razor's edge of their hunger, of their beast, and are facing a possible suicide mission to rescue their friends. Because I could not stop for death, he kindly stopped for me. The carriage held but ourselves and immortality. We will begin our scene this evening with you, Astrid. Astrid, you are currently laid out in the back of a car, staked, unmoving, unable to speak. Based on the way your body is being shaken and the lack of the streetlights illuminating the car driven by your sire's ghoul, Grayson, you know you are on a dirt road, and you likely know where he's taking you. The jostling is making it clear just how damaging this stake, shot into your heart by some sort of contraption that he had, really is. Please mark off 5 superficial damage. Between the sensations of pain, you also become aware of the smell of brimstone in the car. It smells like sulfur. It's one of the worst smells you've ever smelled, and you believe it's coming from Grayson. You also become aware that Grayson is talking, but he's not talking to you. He's talking on the phone. You hear him say, Yes, sir. I'm bringing you a Daughter of Oblivion. Yes, sir, right now. Well, no, I didn't get the one that you wanted, the one that Dara talked about. I took Astrid. According to Dara, Astrid is a Daughter of Oblivion. That's what she said. No, sir, no. Sir, Master, I'm sorry. I understand. I will bring her to you. Please forgive me, sir. And then he hangs up the phone. Galen, you are also in a car. You're currently laying flat on the lap of your broodmate, your sister, Bethany. She's playing with your hair. Her lap is wet. You are also wet. She dragged you through the water, through the woods, to their car. And you become aware that she is talking, but it's not in any language that you recognize. The only way you could describe it is chattering. And it suddenly dawns on you as you stare upwards at her face into the large third eye of a doe that she has. It must be what you sound like when you speak with Hunter, when you and your coterie use your cryptolect. You know one of her goons is a Nosferatu. He is the one currently driving. So the other one must be a Ravnos. You have no idea where they're taking you or what they're saying, but wherever you're going is somewhere where there's streetlights, somewhere where there's civilization. Hunter and Anthony, you have just plunged yourself into the water of the Waccamaw River off of the Sunrise Cruise. You have decided not to take measures to disrupt the production of tender sugar in any way, and instead you're attempting to rescue your friends, who, as far as you're aware, have been taken. You swim to shore easily enough. The Waccamaw is not a fast-running river. And when you get to shore, please make me wits and awareness rolls. Three, and that was 2 for you, Anthony?
2.
Both of you see an orange inflatable device, what looks like a raft, pulled up onto shore. You can certainly go investigate it if you like, or you can turn in the opposite direction and head to your car.
Hunter's gonna take a cursory look at it. Like, is there anything obviously inside it?
You can't tell from here. You would have to make your way over there to see.
Oh, it's a while away, is it?
It's maybe 30, 40 feet away.
Well, there's no pain in, there's no harm in investigating, I suppose. I can go and you can get the car started.
All right.
Anthony, your phone is not usable anymore from jumping into the water.
What about the photo? Is it
It's
okay?
water damaged.
All right.
Hunter, your brick phone, your phone from the 1990s or the early 2000s that you carry with you everywhere, that could survive a nuclear bomb. That is absolutely still operational. As you make your way to the inflatable raft, you don't see anything laying inside of it, but you do see drag marks. Someone who had been dragged through the woods. Anthony, you saw Galen and the Salubri who carried him away in the water. They did not have an inflatable device, so this must be from Astrid.
All right.
When you look at the drag marks, Hunter, you see something on the ground. You see a cell phone. Must have fallen out of Astrid's pocket. Anthony, you see something else. You see 3 vials. They're filled with blood. You assume they come from Astrid. She's a Tremere. It must be a ritual of some kind. Do you take them?
I take them.
Hunter, do you take the cell phone?
How new is it?
You can tell that it's Astrid's phone. You saw her looking at it only a few hours ago when you woke up. It's a smartphone.
Right. Yeah, he takes it.
When you pick it up, it turns on. She doesn't have a lock on it, apparently. And you see it's still on the screen of the picture she was looking at earlier in the evening. You see the picture of her and her parents, clearly in Monaco. The wealth of jewelry on her parents is something you couldn't even imagine. But you see other pictures as well. All the pictures you saw before of Astrid cliff diving, snorkeling, partying, surfing all over the world, and traveling, suddenly they all evaporated. All the pictures that were recent were of her and who you assume must be this Saul person you keep hearing about. He's young, fit, blonde hair. All of Astrid's aspirations seem to have been replaced by love, caring for Saul. It's hard to know. But you can see from the drag marks, they lead to tire marks. And you can see in which direction whoever took Astrid pulled away. You know which direction that is, Hunter. It's Conway. Only thing out there is that abandoned airfield that Astrid mentioned.
Well, at least we know which way she's gone. I'll get the car.
All right.
You'll have to make your way back to the car. It'll take a little bit of time for you to do that, but you are kindred. You do not need to breathe. You do not need to rest your muscles. If you run or jog, you can make it there in quick time.
The ones that caught Galen, they did not go through this side of the Wakama. Am I correct?
You are correct.
All right.
Opposite shore.
I'll wait for the car.
You'll wait for the car as opposed to going with him?
Well, I thought I was going to go get the car, but since we're both there, I'll join him to the car then.
So Hunter and Anthony, you make your way to the car. Astrid, wherever you are now, Grayson has stopped the car. He gets out. He doesn't make any indication to speak to you. It's possible that he does not know that kindred who are staked can see and hear. He is not kindred. He turns the headlights on of the car, and he's illuminating a familiar barracks. He's at the airfield. You can barely see it from the small sliver of view you have in between the seat and the windshield. And he heads inside. Galen, your car has also stopped. And the other kindred, the other goon, who you assume now is a Ravnos, pulls you out of the car, carries you over their shoulder. As your head is bobbing behind him, you know exactly where you are. You're at your clinic. Bethany fishes in your pocket, takes the keys to your storm cellar, and opens it. And they take you into your storm cellar. Hunter and Anthony, you have reached your car. You know the way to the airfield. It's likely you've never been there before, but everyone knows about the abandoned airfield. It's a place where a lot of people party, where people like to go to shoot off fireworks for 4th of July. You know how to get there. It's easy enough to find. But on the way, you do have to pass by the Market Commons, which is where you believe Victoria may be. But it is up to you whether you stop there or not.
You're supposed to be going after the doctor, so you're meant to drop you off there and find some help.
Hunter, I usually don't question your judgment in these things. Most often I come to regret this, but I see that as part of our relationship. But I'm going to just ask you here, what do you think you'll be able to accomplish if you go after Astrid alone?
I just want to get her out of there.
Alright, do you think you'll be able to do that on your own?
I try.
You're going to kill yourself. Doesn't sound very much like the Hunter I know. Let's
Time to
talk
go
with
all in.
Victoria. See what she thinks. She might have friends, allies that can help us. We're not in this alone.
Sure as hell feels like it.
Well, who knows? I've seen stranger things than kindred helping each other. I mean, granted, not a lot of stranger things, but a few.
Fine, I'll come with you.
To get to the Market
Thank you.
Commons and to get to the airfield in quick time, in a fashion that would be appropriate for this particular situation, you're going to need to book it. And I'm going to need whoever is driving to give me a dexterity drive.
Will do.
Please remember, you are both at 4 hunger. Three
That's-
successes.
On 3 dice.
That is pretty good. And not a messy critical like it could have been.
Pretty good.
Really close. Anthony, as you seat yourself in the passenger seat, Hunter takes off almost immediately as you shut the door.
Right.
And he's zigzagging through other cars. He's wasting no time to get to Astrid. Perhaps it is just the situation, something out of his control that makes him feel compelled to behave in this way. Perhaps it's just in his blood. Perhaps he is that concerned about Astrid. Astrid, as you lay in the car, Grayson is making trips back and forth to the barracks. He's loading things into the back of the car. You are in the back seat, not the trunk. It's an SUV. Can't exactly see what he's lifting. But something sounds very heavy and thuds in an odd way that doesn't sound like the usual equipment that you've seen him work with before. If you move your eyes, it's very difficult. It's almost painful. You see a body in the car. A body with pure white eyes. Galen, you are now currently in the cage that Frankie was in just a few hours ago. The Nosferatu is in front of you, the one you mesmerized. He reaches in, pulls the stake out of your heart, and with it still in his hand, he backhands you across the face. Please take 1 more superficial damage for that. And you're muted, and I know that brings you to aggravated damage. But he wasn't pulling any punches.
Damn it. Okay.
He closes the cage behind you loudly, and you hear Bethany say, "I'm sorry about that, brother. Declan doesn't approve when people mess with his mind. He ain't the sharpest tack in the box."
Yeah, kiss my ass.
We'll get to that. You hear music. She's turned on your personal assistant device. She's playing a song from the 70s, as if you hadn't heard enough 70s music this evening, being on that boat. But this one is not disco. This one is more of a folk song. The woman crooning in the song is singing about dreams of loneliness, dreams of the things you've lost. I've always loved this song, brother. She has her back to you, and she's swaying to the music. Do you remember when this song came out? We were just children. Even back then, I loved you. I could have given a fig about animals. I just wanted to do what you did and been close to you. But you never saw me. The only person who saw me was Father, was our sire. And I think he picked me because he knew that I would take you in the end. Just swaying back to you.
Okay. So the personal assistant's on. I'll keep that in mind, bookmarking that piece of information, in case I need to, hey Alexa, call 911, like. But no, yeah. So this really isn't about the whole devour your sire, whatever. This is a personal thing for you?
Well, it wasn't until I was embraced.
Yeah.
You know, if you had just done what Father had asked you, this wouldn't have happened to me. And this wouldn't be happening to you now.
Well, it seems that Father, I guess as you call him, would be the one who wronged you, not me. Of course, I doubt that's going to change your mind at this point. You're already too far gone.
You're so very injured, brother. Are you not willing to just give in now? I can make the pain stop.
You talk about knowing me. You know that's not who I am.
Have to do things the hard way.
As always.
You always were so stubborn.
Hey, Alexandra, text my
As soon
friends
as you
and-
say that, she pulls out a knife, throws it into the personal device.
Shit. Well, it was worth a shot.
I thought maybe you were the one who might have changed. Talk about me not changing. You're as stubborn and stupid as you always were. She walks over to Theodric's cage, opens it. He's still in there. She snaps his neck,
You didn't
throws
need to
him
do that.
throws him at your cage, shoves his head in between the bars so he looks at you. Hunter and Anthony. You have reached Market Commons. Hunter, you need to slow to a crawl. Market Commons is what the South Carolinians consider to be a piece of Europe in the middle of this tropical marshland. The style of the buildings is Dutch German in Tudor architecture. To an actual European, it's beyond bizarre to see amidst all these cobblestone streets. And yet, it is one of the most expensive, fanciest, most desired places to live in the Grand Strand for those who can afford it. And it has the best shopping, the best restaurants. As you slow to a crawl, Anthony, please roll me Sense the Beast. You know Victoria's particular signature. Hunter, you get a phone call. On your phone, not Astrid's.
Good.
Do you answer it?
Yep, he does.
Hey, Hunter, it's Frankie.
What do you need?
You have a second?
Only a second.
So, change of plans. Bree wanted to go back to Coop's. She wanted to tell him everything, that she's pregnant and all this stuff, and he's overjoyed. He's over the moon. He's so happy. So she wants to stay with him, and so I was gonna go get my stuff from my place, and I realized I had a picture that Astrid gave me, and I must have dropped it or lost it at some point. So I drove to the clinic to see if the doctor was there, see if I dropped my picture in there. I'm getting some sort of bad feeling. There's an SUV outside, and there's this really fucked up looking guy with bugs crawling all over him standing out there.
I immediately put my hand on the receiver and just whack Anthony on the shoulder.
What?
The clinic. Thank you, Frankie. You go back. You make Bree comfortable in your buddy Coop.
Yeah, you know Uncle Coop. He lives right by in your trailer.
I know.
Okay, I'll be there. Are you sure you don't want me to stay and you want to call the cops or something?
No, you get far away from there.
You're the boss. And he hangs up. Anthony, with 3, you can feel her signature. You know she's nearby.
All right.
You instruct Hunter to make his way to almost the end of the main street of Market Commons. This part, the end of the main street, is still being filled with new buildings, with new penthouses, with new businesses. It is highly desirable, has a beautiful view of the marshlands. You see Victoria. She's standing on a sidewalk on the street. She's dressed completely differently from the last time you saw her. She's wearing a tight, sleeveless orange blouse that's tucked into high-waisted orange pants. Her hair's up in a bun, and she has a large white orchid in it. And she's staring at something. Anthony, the sign of the building that she's staring at, still under renovation, gives you pause. It's called Madame Durand House of Fencing. If you would roll me either intelligence and politics or intelligence and occult, whichever is higher for you, that might spark something in you.
2 successes. Occult.
It's been a long time since you've heard the name Durand. An almost forgotten night when you survived being cannon fodder for your sire. He brought you to meet the bishop of the area, who happened to be his sire, a woman named Madame Azaria Durand. Powerful, old, lithe, and, if rumors were to be believed, a sorceress of no small power. Your grandsire.
The fuck is she doing here?
Victoria is now staring at the building, if you want to get her attention.
Victoria.
You pull over, put your window down, she turns to you. Dragon, what is wrong? Hunter, what is wrong?
Half our numbers gone. Kidnapped.
Taken Galen.
Who has taken Galen? Tell me now.
I don't know. They're...
The guy
No,
with bugs.
I do know.
The friend of the sheriff.
His sister.
Where?
Who do I- The clinic.
Bethany. You're speaking of Bethany.
I believe so.
Yes.
Clinic.
His broodmate. Where?
The clinic. Probably.
And Astrid?
Taken by someone I believe works for her sire. So,
The will worker.
yeah, probably. I'm gonna go. And I'm gonna find my way into that airbase.
Before you go, I can see you hunger. Both of you. Take my blood and allow me to give you a gift. But I fear it will not be enough to save you if you do what you say you will do. She walks over to the driver's side. She bites into her own wrist with her fangs, and then bites up farther her arm with her fangs. And she holds her arm out for both of you. Take what you need. I will ride my beast into battle.
Hunter doesn't hesitate. And he takes what he needs.
I will let you know how much she will let you have before she stops you. Anthony, do you drink as well?
This is crude and disgusting, but I will do it. It's in public. It's indecent.
You both may take 3. She has excellent mastery of her beast this evening.
I will do so.
This blood is unlike any blood either of you have ever tasted. Even you, Anthony, who has savored the delicious flavors of Kindred Vitae. This blood is old. This blood is power incarnate. Anthony, I need you to make a willpower roll to see if you do not continue feeding. This is unbelievable. And Hunter, you feel a surge in your limbs, a hardening of your body that you've never felt before. Please give yourself 1 dot in fortitude and resilience, and add that to your health track.
Critical success. 4 successes.
You're able to resist the call of your beast to take all of her blood, all of her power. Why does she need it? You need it. But you know what might happen if you tried.
Oh, I know.
And you feel a speediness to your movements that you never felt before. Please give yourself a dot in celerity and give yourself the ability of rapid reflexes. She removes her arm. Her fangs have descended. She is also hungry. I will go. I will save Galen. I will meet you at the airfield if you need me. Good luck. Try not to die.
Whatever you say, boss.
She turns herself into an albatross and flies away. That leaves Hunter and Anthony, filled with the blood of a vampire 200 years their senior, to do what they believe they must and rescue Astrid. Hunter, are you going to head to the airfield now?
Yep.
Another dex drive, please.
One.
As you pull out of Market Commons, Anthony, you nearly fall out of the Jeep. Please make a dex athletics roll as Hunter takes a turn too sharply, knocks off the passenger side mirror.
I have 0 successes.
Anthony, you fall out of the Jeep. Hunter, you notice this, of course. That blood, that surge that she gave you, you've never felt so unalive in your unlife. You can stop the car and let Anthony get back in, of course.
I am rather heavily wounded. I will attempt to patch up some of my damage.
Oh, yeah.
You took no damage from that fall.
No, but I was thrown rather strongly into a...
Yes, you have 4 superficial damage, is that correct?
That's correct. So
Hunter, you have 2.
I do. I will also attempt to heal mine.
it's 1.
You should both be at 1 hunger now.
Oh.
Right.
I'm going to stop there because I just got hungrier.
Hungrier by 1?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Hunter. Is she really worth it, boss? I mean, she tasted good and everything, but did you taste what was hanging out in there? Something weird, foreign, unnatural, dark. Sure you want some more of that? There's better around here. How about the one that just turned into a bird? That was prime.
The blood's not what we're after.
Okay. Anthony?
I am on 3 hunger again, but I have fully healed my wounds.
You're an idiot. Always weak. Always stupid. No initiative. Grandma's gonna tear you apart.
Next time, tell me something I don't know.
Do you stop to let Anthony back in the car?
Yeah, although he's not, like, polite about it. It's just, hold on and get in.
Maybe if you learn how to drive, this wouldn't be a problem.
Or perhaps you should wear your seatbelt, Anthony.
Told you, stop telling me things I already know. Strangely helpful beast.
Astrid, you have been laying here you're losing time. This is the most unpleasant experience you've ever felt. And that stake hurts, and the metal that's wrapped around you is uncomfortable, holding the stake in place. Shouldn't need anything to hold it in place, and yet he put this on you. He's been in the barracks for quite a while now, and you can still see the white of that person's eyes looking at you, unmoving, staked as well. Then you hear a familiar voice. Can't see who it is, but you know the voice. It's a woman saying, "Go away, dreams. You aren't real. Go away, dreams. You aren't real." Sarah. Cannot speak to her. Cannot talk to her. You can tell she's above you, above your head. And if you, again, attempt to look up slightly, you can see the car door is opened. She's opened it. I told you to not look away when the fire came. You promised. Jack is coming. You can't speak to her. Jack is coming. I don't know if he'll get here in time. I'll do what I can to free you, but not this way. And then you don't hear her voice anymore. Galen, face to face with Thedric, now of no value to you as a kindred damaged and hoping to mend and use his blood. Bethany still has her back to you. Apparently she is fearful you might try and mesmerize her, as you did to Declan, as she called him, her Nosferatu. Do you know why I chose your clinic, brother? You're muted, by the way.
Thedric's dead, right?
His neck has been snapped, yes.
Yeah, he's dead as hell. Okay.
And his face has been pushed unnaturally between the bars.
Oof. Well, that's unfortunate.
You know why I chose to bring you to your own clinic, brother?
Why would that be?
Because you have no friends. I was your only friend in life. I could have been your only friend in unlife. I still could be. But no one's going to come looking for you, Galen. No one cares about you because of the way you are and the way you always were. Why are you fighting for a life you don't even like, that you don't even want? Give yourself to me, brother, and it will be over.
You know, you may be right. You may be right about me not having friends. At the same time, I don't see you in a much better position. Everyone's afraid of you. What do you think this will achieve? What do you think this will accomplish?
It'll accomplish.
You think you'll be happy?
Yes.
You won't.
I was so happy when I took Father's blood and his life. He lives in me. Spark. In my mind, I still feel it. And you'll live in me too.
But you still feel that emptiness, don't you? After all, why wouldn't you stop after our father? No, you feel empty, you feel dead. And while you do feel more alive whenever you eat, I guess you could say, that's not going to change it. And honestly, even if you do end up feeding on me tonight, I'll take joy in knowing that you're just as miserable as the rest of us.
It's not if, but when. I think you're so smart. Always the top in his class. I could beat you to a pulp.
You could.
Put you into torpor. Wake you up. And do this again and again and again until you finally give in. I have eternity, brother. As do you.
And you know what's going to keep me going? What's going to keep me going? Yes, exactly, you got it. Is seeing the frustration on your face after you beat me up for the 10,000th time, and I, for the 10,000th time, tell you to go fuck yourself.
Well, you know, I'll get bored of beating you up eventually, so next thing I'll do is I'll destroy your clinic. Then I'll go,
Cute.
What's his name? Jim? You seem awful fond of him. I'll kill him and his family. He's got kids.
Is somebody upset they can't get what they want? So you're going to take it out on an innocent person? You're really a child, you know that, right?
Maybe.
Maybe. No, not maybe. Definitely. You're an infant.
At least I'm not in a cage. She takes one of her knives and with pinpoint accuracy throws it through the bars and it hits you in the neck.
Son of a bitch.
Take 2 more superficial damage.
God damn it.
Anthony and Hunter. You have reached the outskirts of the airfield. You have a choice to make. Do you proceed on foot to the main body of it, where the strip is and the barracks? Or do you drive up?
I'm not one for hiding when I go places, so should we just blitz it?
Figure that might be a better plan. They're less prepared for something like that. You still got bullets in that gun?
Not so much.
Oh, well, it's unfortunate. Hold on. Here, use the knife instead.
That's so much better. Okay then. Hunter is going to gun it in the car right down the road.
The airstrip?
Hmm.
You do so. And what you see as you approach is a black SUV with the headlights on. Everything around it is dark. When you spoke to Astrid earlier, just a night or so ago, she said that the place was well fortified, well lit, with lots of turrets, surveillance. It seems that someone, perhaps this Grayson, has been taking everything down, bringing it somewhere else. It is completely dark save for this SUV with the passenger side open, the driver's side door open, and the high beams are on, pointing at one particular barrack. That car, however, going up the landing strip like that, would definitely call attention to anyone who is there.
Boss, I have an idea.
Yeah, what?
Remember that man Theodric?
Yeah?
Could put on his face. Might buy us a couple of moments. I'm thinking he's probably not been let out of the clinic.
I
could put it on, or you can put it on. I can put it on you.
Whichever's easiest for you.
Well, it's probably easiest on me. I'm used to it.
Can I use Silence of Death on a car?
You're
muted. You're still muted.
So
Buddy, you're Zoom muted.
I'm Zoom muted. I don't think so, but I'm actually going to look because that's a really interesting question.
I have no idea. Somehow I doubt it.
The user silences their footsteps, clothing. Yeah, no.
I think a car is too loud.
The car is too big for it, apparently. You can do it on like a door, like so it won't slam, but a car would be too big. So it has its limitations.
Never mind.
Anthony, are you attempting to disguise yourself as Thedric?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Please roll me Resolve and Protean and a Rouse check, please. You are at 3 hunger, do not forget.
I know. I'm at 4.
You are at 4 hunger. Your fangs have descended, and all you want to do is eat. You look at Hunter. Never looked better.
Boss, walk behind me. This is gonna be a little rough.
Astrid, you absolutely heard a car pull up somewhere. Sorry, please continue.
Sounds good to me. Well, there's no point in sneaking now. I
grab Hunter by the arm. I start dragging him towards the building.
What was your vicissitude roll, by the way?
There was 5 successes.
More than you needed. You look exactly like Thedric. Anthony now looks like a very bulky, slightly shorter than he normally is. Large head, bald, broken nose. Looks exactly like Thedric. It's uncanny. It's incredible.
You been looking like you been paying attention to me? This some sort of illusion?
What?
Did you actually do that to yourself?
Yeah, it's real.
Damn. Well, don't I feel silly?
There's downsides. I don't particularly like looking like this. Let's go.
What is the plan? Precisely.
The plan is to drag Hunter in, hopefully catch them by surprise, and before they realize that why would Thedric be dragging this guy in here, we'll have the opportunity to, I don't know.
As you drag Hunter in this ruse, this charade, you pass by the SUV. Hunter, you see Astrid in it.
I immediately tug away from Anthony. It's like, get up. And I move over to Astrid.
She's laying there, unmoving, eyes staring up into the ceiling of the car. She's staked, brutally staked. The stake has almost gone completely through her. And she's wearing a very strange sheet metal vest. Never seen anything like it.
As soon as I see that she's staked, I just walk backwards.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be near that if he pulls it out.
Anthony, I need you to make me a roll. And it's not going to be a pleasant roll. I need you to make me a composure and occult roll, please.
Oh boy.
Hunter, what are you doing when you see Astrid?
Gonna try and figure out what this sheet metal thing is.
That would be a wits and occult roll.
Wits occult? Oh.
Mhm. This is not a technology that looks like anything you've ever seen. 2 successes.
Yes.
As you see Hunter leaning over Astrid, trying to figure out what is around her body, you feel this horrible sensation inside of you. Please take 2 aggravated damage as the blood in your body begins to boil. And now I also need a frenzy check from you.
All right.
Terror
Check.
frenzy.
Terror frenzy. Perfect. So that's willpower as well.
Mm-hmm.
What is it saying? You minus 5. I can you minus 6. 1. That's probably not enough.
You flee. You run back into the woods, back over the airstrip. Hunter, you see Anthony. You hear him scream out in pain and take off running into the woods. And you hear a voice. Give me that wits occult roll first.
I did. I got 1.
You have no idea what this is.
Don't have time. Gonna yank out the stake.
You cannot. Whatever this metal sheet is keeping it in place. And you hear a voice. If he really was Thedric, Dean made sure that my little tricks won't work on his ghouls. And he's going to hold up his hands to you, Hunter. He's not quite close to you, but he's close enough that you can see fire forming in his hands.
I am going to use chemistry on him.
But before you do that, make me a wits investigation roll or a wits occult roll and add a modifier to it. You, out of the whole coterie, or the only coterie present, would be aware of something he might be doing.
Okay.
Astrid, of course, you hear all of this. You cannot move, and you cannot help them.
What's the modifier?
+1.
Okay. That's 5.
With 5 successes,
Oh no.
you do not.
I rolled significantly more dice than I needed to.
Oops.
I don't know what happened there.
Let me see.
Yeah, I rolled 7 dice and I only have 3 wits and no occult or investigation, so I'll...
You don't have any occult or investigation?
No.
Oops.
2. That's more like it.
With 2 successes is also enough. You are a master of illusion. You've used your illusion disciplines enough. How many years now? 30 years? You know this is not real fire. You can see it. You don't know exactly how he's doing this. But something about his smart watch catches your eye. Something about his glasses looks strange. Like there's computer chips in his glasses. They take on a strange sheen in the high beam of the headlights. You don't know what this is. You don't know how these will workers do what they do. You've never even met one before. But you believe that this fire he's conjuring is an illusion.
Oh.
So you do not have to make a frenzy check. And you are absolutely allowed to take an action instead.
Yeah. Hunter's gonna basically run at him and try and use chemistry to make him think that he's losing control of this illusion. And
Absolutely.
that it's... Yeah, I'm going to make him feel the heat of it.
Make that roll. And that is a composure and wits
But
counter roll.
yeah.
Just a lot of dice for him.
I'm not short on dice myself. I will do a rouse check though. Ooh.
That is a bad roll for him, I think.
I got 4. And I want to make sure this works, so I'm going to reroll 3.
Do you have any willpower to spend?
I do. That is a crit.
A regular crit or a messy crit?
A regular crit, fortunately.
Thank God.
So,
You run up to him, and as you get closer, you see and smell this horrible sulfur smell coming from him, this brimstone smell. You remember the woman on the boat told you he smelled like brimstone. And you can see slashes across his face, like burn marks. This fire is not real. Where is the smell coming from, and how is he burned? Questions that you don't have time to answer right now or ask. And you use your chemistry to turn the fire on him. He looks at his hands and believes they are on fire, and he begins screaming. Astrid, you hear Grayson screaming. There is nothing that you can do. Galen, still in the clinic, in your cage. You have a knife in your neck, and Bethany is giggling. You really think you can keep this up forever? I want to take you willingly, brother, but if I have to take you by force, I will.
Bethany, do you hear that hissing sound? And as I do that, I'm going to try to use, Fata Morgana.
Mm-hmm. What are you going to do exactly?
I am going to put a slight shimmer in the air and make the sound of gas escaping, so like a hissing noise.
What was that roll? 3?
Yep, 3 successes.
3 successes is enough. So you make the sound. With 3 successes, does it have a smell? Smell
no,
like
the gas is odorless.
I don't know if methane has a smell or
no, methane
whatever.
is very smelly, but nitrous oxide is not.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna pull the knife out. You see, you just made a fatal mistake. You destroy the personal assistant. I've set up a failsafe, if you would. If someone breaks in, releases the nitrous oxide. Now, I don't know if you know about nitrous oxide. It's laughing gas, used for surgeries or to get high. It's also very, very flammable. If I drop this knife, this building goes up. 1 spark.
When I was a little girl, I dreamed about us getting married, growing old together. Do it, and we'll die together.
No, I'm waiting on one more thing.
Without your soul, I have nothing to live for.
Well, you won't get my soul.
Want to bet? Drop the knife.
Not yet.
And that's when both you and Bethany hear a very loud crashing noise outside. Bethany, for the first time, has lost her composure, and she looks up to the storm cellar. You weren't expecting any company, were you?
No, actually. I'm as surprised as you are.
Well, sit tight. I'll go check it out. And she heads out of the storm cellar. Anthony, you have fled into the woods. You've lost your direction a little bit. You're not quite sure. There are no lights here. It is quite dark. You hear a man screaming. That is enough for you to find your way back if you want to.
Oh yes, I'm going back.
Take you some time to run back.
Yeah.
Hunter, as Grayson is panicking, trying to put out his hands unsuccessfully on his own pants, what do you do?
There we go. Hunter has lost his patience. So Does he have the presence of mind to defend himself if a hunter were to try and drain him dry?
Not at the moment.
Then that is what
He
Hunter
is worried
going to
about being on fire.
Yeah, Hunter's going to rip his glasses off, step on his wristwatch, and just kneel on his chest and say, "Now, my friends live like kings, but you're about to see what kind of things I can take from my enemies." And he sinks his fangs into his neck and drains him dry.
This is so satisfying. This blood, as delicious as Victoria's was, this blood could sustain you, you feel, for an eternity. This is the type of blood that's like cocaine, crack, special K for vampires. It is incredible, the power that this human had inside of him. This is the worst and best night of your life, Hunter. And you drain him, you drink, and you drink, and you drink. And his life ebbs away. No more magic for him. Do you drop him unceremoniously?
Yes.
And he collapses to the floor. Anthony, you have made it back to the airfield to see Hunter draining. Hunter, please remove all of your hunger.
Hunter, I'm sorry. It did something to me. It was burning inside of me. Are you alright? Where's
I'm
Astrid?
fine. I know a trickster when I see one. She's still in there and I can't get the fucking stake out.
Alright, we'll bring her with us. Should we... Now, Hunter, should we go after him as well?
You really want to give that a go? This place isn't what it used to be. They've moved on.
I don't know if we'll ever get another shot at it, but it's not a decision I'm going to make.
We need to make sure Astrid's safe first. If we can get that stake out, then yeah, maybe.
Anthony, so I understand what you're referring to. Are you talking about Dean?
Yes,
You sense the beast to see if there are any kindred here.
I will do so.
Hunter, as you make your way back over to Astrid, you look into the back seat, into the trunk. The white that was taken out of your trailer a few nights ago, is in the back seat. Grayson had him, or Dean had him.
3 successes.
There are no kindred here, save you, Astrid, the white, and Hunter.
Alright.
This is weird. I point Anthony towards the white, and I start like yanking on the stake to try and move it.
Astrid, you feel him do this. And although you cannot tell him, every move he does with that stake while the vest is on you, it's painful. Take another superficial damage as Hunter ineffectually tries to remove it.
I think those are all superficial that I had. I'm out.
And you are on 1 aggravated.
Yeah.
Let's say X.
Yeah, it's an X.
Well, I see the white. Not going to look a gift horse in the mouth. I walk over and I start drinking from it.
Mm-hmm.
It's no longer a vampire even.
You drink him dry. You are at 3 hunger and 2 aggravated damage.
No, I'm at 4 hunger.
You're at 4 hunger with 2 aggravated damage.
Yes. I drink him dry, but I do not go beyond that. Or try to, at least.
Understood. Please remove all of your hunger.
Thank you.
You watch him turn into ash so quickly. He was very young. His blood was unpalatable at best, but necessary for now. In the car, with the white, full of equipment, computers, those surveillance that Astrid was speaking of, all dismantled, unplugged, stored away. Wherever Grayson was taking these things, and Astrid and the white, must be wherever Dean is. Perhaps Astrid knows, but she cannot tell you. Are you planning on removing Astrid from the car and leaving the airfield?
I can take this car. I'll drive this car somewhere. We can hide it. We can go through this equipment. Is that all right with you, Hunter?
I don't know if we can do anything with it.
Hunter, wits and technology.
Are you suggesting we leave it because we don't think we can do something with it?
That is 3.
You take a look at some of the equipment. You handle it quickly because you are concerned about Astrid. It is mundane at best. State of the art. Expensive, but mundane.
Unless you want to pawn it. Trash it.
I want to go through it first. See if there's anything I can find from it.
Okay, well, in that case, I think I'm gonna get Astrid out of here.
Do that. I'll make sure this car is hidden somewhere where at least hidden from mortals.
Okay, well, hopefully we can go meet at the clinic.
Is your intention for Anthony to take the SUV and Hunter to take the Jeep with Astrid and to drive to the clinic? Is that the intention for everyone?
I think we should go to the clinic first, both of us. I'll take the SUV there.
Yes, that's what I meant.
Yes.
Okay. So, Hunter, do you take Astrid out?
Yeah. He puts her across the back seat of the Jeep and starts racking his brain about how on earth you can remove a metal plate from someone's chest.
As you look at her, Hunter, it's almost impossible for you not to touch the place of your own heart where you were staked once, under much different circumstances. This looks much harsher. This was not done by friends trying to keep you from destroying yourself. This was done in a painful, horrible, mechanical way to Astrid. But there'll be time for you to look over this metal sheet once you get to the clinic. Much better light there.
Hopefully a doctor.
Galen, it's been some time. Bethany has not returned to the clinic or to your laboratory. You hear things going on outside, however. If you would like to try, you can try and break out of this cage. You are muted.
Yep, I'm going to try to break out of the cage. I don't have any powers that would help me, so I'm just going to try to use the knife to maybe jimmy the lock. Yeah.
You have that knife, and I will definitely, with a Dex larceny, I'll give you a modifier, 1 modifier, because you have that knife.
All right, 2 successes.
That's enough to pop it off. You are going to have to kick Thedric out of the way. He's blocking it with his body, his now limp and dead body.
Oh, that's unpleasant.
Also give me a strength and athletics to sort of push him out of the way so you can actually open the door.
Okie doke. 1 success.
That's what I was looking for. It's hard. It's unpleasant. The whole time, his eyes are open and staring at you as you use your legs to push open the door. What do you do?
I'm going to activate Unseen Passage.
Rouse check.
Absolutely.
You are quite injured. Also,
Yeah.
every move is the shifting of your broken bones.
I get 1 point hungrier, and I am now the invisible.
3 hunger.
Yeah.
You are. Where do you go?
Upstairs.
Upstairs to your clinic or outside?
Outside, outside through the storm cellar area.
When you open the storm cellar, the first thing that you see is the sky is filled with crows. They're loud, they're squawking. As you go around the side of your building, you see a battle has taken place here. The Ravnos goon is still alive. He is stuck to the car with his own sword, and someone has pushed the sword in a way that he cannot free himself. You see a pile of ashes with palmetto bugs scrambling around it. Some of the palmetto bugs are dead or dying. And you see Victoria. She's covered in blood. The orchid in her hair is dripping with blood. And she's holding Bethany off the ground against a wall, her hand around her neck. Her fangs are bared, and she looks like she's going in to drain her. You may stop her, of course.
Victoria.
She cannot see you.
Oh yeah, I'll out of it.
Mhm.
Victoria.
Carino.
I'm assuming that blood all over you is not your own.
So, the Nosferatu didn't want to die.
So I can see. Well, dispose of her if you'd like, or if you'd like, I can finish the job. I'm neutral on that one. Although I'd rather not have a part of her in me, so all yours.
She doesn't hesitate. She goes in and drains her. You know Victoria, as she's told you many times in the years that you've known each other or been together, however you want to put it. She only drinks from animals. This is something you've never seen her do, as long as you've known her. And she drains Bethany. You watch Bethany's eyes, her mouth is twisted at first in anger, frustration, fear. And then she gives into it. She gives into the kiss. And Victoria is ravenous as she feeds off of her. You know the taste of salubri blood brings that out in other vampires. Anthony, Hunter, and of course Astrid, you pull into the clinic and you see this sight. You see a kindred stuck into an SUV with its own sword, ashes blowing in the wind around palmetto bugs, Victoria covered in blood and gore, feeding off of Bethany, and Galen looking almost on the brink of the final death, or at least on the brink of torpor himself, as you pull in.
Do we have a stake in the car? Is there a stake in the SUV?
There is a stake left over from the white that you
Right.
killed.
I will take it and I will go and plunge it in the heart of the Ravnos stuck to the car.
You do so. Cannot really offer resistance. He is badly injured.
Place it against his chest and kick it in.
Doctor.
Victoria's finished draining Bethany. You watch as she turns to ash and joins her Nosferatu in the wind.
Well, thank you for that, Victoria.
I am so sorry I could not get here faster.
It's all right. I wouldn't say I had the situation under control, but I certainly had her riled up.
You are gravely injured, Carino.
Yeah, don't need to be a doctor to tell you that one.
No. Your friends are here.
Yeah, they are.
They are the ones who told me how to find you.
I looked at them and then thank you.
Doctor, we're gonna need your help.
And you have it.
Astrid's stuck in something.
All right, get her downstairs. I'll see what I can do.
Sure. Scoop her up.
So you all head down into the storm cellar. Victoria as well.
I will bring the Ravnos. I will try to pull the sword out and bring him with me.
It's going to be quite difficult. Victoria has bent it and contorted it in a way to keep him there permanently. You may have to break the sword in half.
That could be a problem for someone who's, not able to do what I want with flesh, so I'm just going to separate him.
Please roll your flesh crafting roll and 1 rouse check, please. You are at 4 hunger. No, you're not. You're at 0 hunger. That's right. Excellent.
Oh, not a frenzy check. That would be inconvenient. Well, I'm at 1 hunger again. So much for that. Here we are again. So flesh crafting versus his stamina and resolve. That is 3 successes. I'm not being gentle.
All right. You cut open a cavity, and with your abilities, you pull apart his own flesh and slide him off of the sword. Do you repair it, or do you leave it that way?
I'll repair it.
Do you?
I do.
I would need another roll. Certainly are under no obligation. He is
I will.
Staked.
I am under no obligation to be cruel to this man. I don't get any hunger here. And that is critical success.
Like it never happened at all. And you are the last to enter into the laboratory. Galen, what do you do? Do you have Hunter place her on something?
Yeah, probably on the operating table, and I'm gonna just take a look at this device, whatever it is.
Hunter, you may make this roll as well. You already made this roll. Wits and occult.
Okay, good.
And Victoria can help you with that. She is well versed in the occult. Currently has no hunger dice.
3. 3 successes for me.
1, 2, 3, 4 critical success.
God damn.
7 successes. Galen, you see it. You see the stake, how far it's been pushed into her. If this was a human who did this, not possible. It must have been shot into her. You can tell that clearly by looking at it. The wound is now looking aggravated. There is no fire on this or anything that would cause it to be aggravated. So you're able to determine that by touching it or attempting to remove it while this vest is on is causing Astrid more damage than when it was first stuck into her.
All right. Well, first thing, order of business is to get the vest off. Have any of you touched the vest?
I gave it a go, but I didn't want to do... After you, Doctor.
I'll need your help. I'm gonna hand him a pair of vinyl gloves, that'll keep you from, well, if it's skin contact that'll trigger this thing, that'll keep it from hurting you. So does this open at the middle, or?
As I said,
it doesn't open anywhere, right?
This is nothing like anything you've seen before. This is something created by what Victoria refers to as a will worker. They seem to be able to conjure things into being through their will alone. It looks like Astrid was poured into this metal sheet as opposed to it having been put around her.
Okay. Surgical tools.
Mhm.
I'm going to get a bone saw. One of the electric bone saws, the one, the little whirring thing. And I'm assuming I would have a drill for,
You have all the tools and amenities that
Perfect.
you would need. The
Well, let's
problem
see.
is once you start using them, you've used bone saws, you've cut through fibula, through large bones of animals when you've needed to do autopsies and things like that. You touch it to this metal, it does nothing. It doesn't even spark, as if it is metal. With Victoria's critical success roll, she's allowing you to try different things. She's examining it herself. And she looks at you, Hunter. And she says, I see it in your eyes, Hunter. We love with the souls, not with the eyes. Therefore is Cupid painted the blind. Flip her over. Can you do this? I am covered in blood. I do not want to get blood and intestines on her. Flip her around.
He does so.
On the back of it, Victoria, with her bloodied hand, pushes against the spine, and out pops a panel, a number key, or a number pad. I've seen the woodworkers do things like this. What they can create, which technology is I do not understand it, but I've seen some things like this. It needs numbers, a code. I do not know. I believe when we were in the Carolina Opry, we found numbers, but I did not commit them to memory.
What did we do with those?
Would you like the storyteller to remind you?
Yes, please.
You found 3 login IDs. Dara, 1701. Thedric, 1992. And Grayson, 1115.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's much better than my notes. Spread across several pages of a notebook. He's gonna try Thedric's number.
You type in 1992. Please take a point of aggravated damage as your hand is burnt by it.
Why did I say Thedric? I meant Grayson, but sure, I will take the aggravated damage.
You all see
because he's like, numbers.
You all see Hunter punch something in, and you see the contraption react badly to it. And Hunter, your hand is blackened, the palm of it, from that number. I think that was the wrong number.
It is. Thank you so much. Memory's a bit hazy. I tried Grace's number this time.
1115. You hear a lock, and the sheet comes apart on Astrid's side. Falls flat.
I tear it off and throw it across the room. Flip her over.
Who pulls out the stake?
Hunter does it.
Astrid, as he pulls out that stake, it is so very, very painful, but you do not take any more damage. Finally, you can speak, you can move, and you're free of this stasis you had been put in.
I just I kind of I've she looks very disoriented for a little bit, just like pawing at her chest. And then she's
the hole in Astrid's chest is massive. Galen has a hole in his chest as well, but it was placed in. It wasn't thrust in this fashion. It is large, and you can see the inner workings of Astrid's body. Looks awful.
Well, it's good. It's good to see that you're back up, Astrid.
Can she speak? Is she wheezing? What's going on?
You can absolutely speak, but you are in pain. Every movement is painful. Just as it is for Galen, for different reasons.
Astrid, Galen, Hunter. It is good that we are back together. And I'm going to take the initiative to say that whenever we go somewhere together, we stick together as a group.
Yeah, I think I learned my lesson on that one.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Don't apologize.
I'm so sorry. She could cry. She's in shock. She's pawing at Hunter. She's like, you killed him.
I thought
killed him.
he was going to take you to Dean, and I know that's the last place you want to be.
Good. Thank you. You killed him.
Yeah. Yeah, I did.
The room is filled with the scent of Astrid's blood tears. Is anyone at hunger 3 or above?
I am.
Roll me your unspent willpower.
Shit. Okay.
Which is not a lot, if I recall.
It is not. Oh no.
Oh boy.
Is that... How many successes is that? That is 0 successes.
Yeah.
Anthony with rapid reflexes, almost like a spidey sense. You see Galen start moving towards Astrid. You can see he's hungry.
Right.
The smell of her blood tears. With rapid reflexes, you could certainly stop him.
I am going to do that. I'm going to get behind him and hold his arms back. And I'm going to... Hunter!
What? Oh, shit. He grabs Thedric's body and, like, grabs a scalpel or something and, like, just put... No, she broke his... I'm going to put a hole in him anyway and throw him at the doctor.
The dead blood would not, unless he had a specific predator type, it would not appeal to him. Victoria takes the initiative. Goes over to you, Galen. Lets you drink of her blood again. Of course, you and No are aware that would be your second time drinking from her. What that would do.
2/3 of the weight of blood bond, right?
Mm-hmm. But with
Note to
that,
self, never do that again.
with that no willpower roll,
Yeah.
you couldn't resist
Yup.
blood. It is exquisite. And so you drink. How much do you drink?
As much as I can, as much as she'll let me.
She gains no hunger. Lets you take 2, or 2, I believe. She pats your head as you drink from her. She doesn't want to get too close to you. She is covered in gore, and she looks monstrous. It's all right, Carino.
There's a shower in the back if you feel the need to clean
Yes,
out.
I will do that. I need to speak with all of you, and I understand what you all just went through was very traumatic, especially for you, daughter of Oblivion. I will leave you alone for a little bit, and then we must speak. And she leaves to go into the shower.
Can I let you go, Dr. Galen? Are you going to
I'll be
be
fine.
able to? Yeah, all right. I have a question, rather a request. Do you have a soundproof room here?
The room itself should be soundproof, but I don't know if they compromised it when they came in. If they broke the door at all.
All
Is
right.
the door damaged or?
If you're looking for no one to hear you, your cryptolect is the perfect way to do this.
That's not why I'm looking for.
The storm cellar door is not broken in any way.
Perfect, then we should be fine.
Good. Doctor, you strike me as the kind of person who wouldn't mind taking part in this. Hunter, Astrid, perhaps you should go somewhere else. After we've talked with Victoria, I intend to talk with the survivor. He is of Clan Ravnos, I believe. Do I know this? No, I don't know this.
You would have no way of knowing it.
I don't know this.
Galen could certainly tell you. He
All right.
would know from the cryptolect language they were speaking.
Galen, do you know anything about this person?
I've seen them before, but beyond that, fuck all.
All right. I have a certain set of skills that I don't often employ these nights. Can make him talk. I'm going to assume you don't want him to survive, considering he worked for your sister, the sheriff of the prince we've sworn allegiance to.
I have no particular feelings either way. Do as you
Right.
must.
Right. Well then. Very well, that's what I will be spending the rest of the night doing.
What do you want to do? Just make him talk?
Basically, as much information as I can get out of him. I'm not sure he will be able to do much afterwards. I'm
Okay.
aware of how you feel about these things, Hunter, which is why I don't wish for you or Astrid to be here.
We need to recover. Astrid, we find somewhere safe. Somewhere we haven't just declared war on the Camarilla.
Question. I was at hunger too before I was staked.
Mhm.
I'm assuming, can I heal any? No, yes?
You are at 1 aggravated damage, is that correct?
Yeah.
You may try. You need to roll me 3 rouse checks to heal 1 point of aggravated damage. And there's a possibility you may frenzy if you fail them all.
Should I look at the hole? I'm like, should I can try to heal this. Let me try, but do I
can
know
heal
I
it.
can frenzy?
That is correct. Galen can heal you as well.
Let me. And I will use.
I don't know.
first-
You looked like you wanted to drink me. You sure you can do this?
I can handle myself.
Okay.
I'm gonna use Valerin for the
Mhm.
first time. Did that go through?
Oh, that's fine.
That is an unsuccessful rouse check.
Shit.
So
Okay,
your
that's okay.
hunger increases.
All right, and time for Valerin. That's terrible.
That is. Do you
I'm
have any
gonna
willpower to
spend a
spend?
willpower because that's
Mm.
bad. Okay, that's
2
two
successes.
successes.
I would say, Astrid, make me 1 rouse check. Your hunger increases to 3, but with the rousing of your blood and the help from Galen using Valerin, you're able to heal that aggravated damage. All of you watch as Galen concentrates on Astrid. You watch the flesh, the bones, the sinew knit together. You watch it before your eyes. The hole gets smaller and smaller and smaller until Astrid is whole again, as she was at the beginning of the night, save for the hunger. But all of you, save for Hunter and Astrid now, are damaged in some way. And some of you are damaged emotionally or psychologically from the events of this evening. Victoria has told you that she has things she needs to discuss with you. On top of that, the Camarilla sheriff has been killed, along with her 2 hounds.
Yeah.
And Dean's last remaining ghoul has been drained dry and left on the airfield. All of these things and what they mean, and how the coterie will move on from this, we'll go over after the break.
Okay. Thank you everyone for watching. Go get yourself a drink. Try and recover from this particularly harrowing episode, and we will be back in a few minutes. Hello everyone and welcome back to Blood on the Grand Strand. Take it away, Huddy.
Thank you, Josh. So, our coterie has survived an encounter with not only the Camarilla Sheriff and her hounds, but with a mage or a wool worker. They are now in Galen's clinic, attempting to regroup, recover from all of the damage they've taken, psychologically or otherwise. Victoria emerges. She had to take a shower. She was covered in 3 different kindred's gore. And she emerges wearing one of Galen's shirts. Her outfit is destroyed. She cannot wear it. So she's wearing a very long men's hemmed, and I can't think of the actual English word, not a blouse, dress shirt. German, we say hemmed. Well, how are we all doing?
Well, we just killed the Camarilla Sheriff.
I killed the Camarilla Sheriff.
Yeah,
Carino.
but they're gonna blame us.
No, they will blame me.
And us.
No.
What makes
I
you
am.
so
I have never, outside of war, I have never killed another kindred or human. They will blame me.
It's good that you make that distinction. Kindred are not human.
Do not want to get into semantics with you, Dragon. If I recall, I asked you to watch Galen, and you failed.
As I recall, I told Galen to stay close.
It's more my fault than his, yeah.
Either way, we are behind you, Victoria. This is a good thing.
No. There's no good thing happening. What do you know about this party that you are being forced to hold, Hunter?
I know there's people from all up and down the coast coming. It's going to be a big shindig, and the prince is going to declare his sovereignty over our wonderful town of Myrtle Beach. I also know that a Hakata named G intends to get that 10 to sugar into the party, and, well, I'm not inclined to stop him as long as no one's feeling particularly thirsty. I want to see them tear each other apart.
Neither am I, Hunter, but I went and I met with some kindred that I knew when I was still in the Camarilla. They, of course, would not declare any sort of allegiance to me, but I think they also will not stand against me should I take up the mantle of Baron. And they divulged many things that they knew, and many things they do not know. The Prince of Charlotte, Prince Tenebras, is not declaring praxis. He's declaring himself something the Camarilla has never seen. He's declaring himself a king of the Carolinas. According to some of these kindred, these Camarilla kindred, he claims that once upon a time, he was a governor of the South Carolina. And it is his right to control the Carolinas. And that is what he is doing. He has great support, especially from his seneschal, a very powerful, influential Ventru, who is in Charlotte. And he is going to claim someone else to be Prince of Myrtle Beach. I do not know who. No one knows who. It could be Marianne Park. I suppose his child. She is his child. I've also heard that Diana Garland, this keeper of Elysium, is not going to allow any mortals into the party. So I do not know how tender sugar will spread with this Hikata.
That's on him.
We cannot stand against a crazed man who thinks that he can be king. He's invited kindred from courts more powerful than I. I do not know how to stand against this, but one of these kindred, a child of the moon, they told me that the best way is if I rejoined the Camarilla and vied for princedom myself. But I do not know if that is the right way to do this.
I have a solution. Now,
Carino?
this might not be the political solution you desire, but I think it'll work. At least it should. I know you're rather fond of your trailer, gesturing to Josh. But do you think that, say, using a truck, a brick, and all the oxygen and nitrous oxide I have in this place, you could send it right through the front door of Pirate Adventure?
If you think you could get close without the lackeys getting in the way, then be my guest.
Yeah, that could be a problem. We need a way to get it nearby, maybe park outside. I mean, I've got enough stuff in here to flatten the place twice, but...
Carino, let me make something very clear to you. I understand, and you must understand, I am only doing this because of you. I'm only doing this because you refused to leave with me those years ago when I said to leave this place and come with me. You want to stay here, so I will stay here, and I will fight for this territory. You cannot explode Camarilla from cities all over the eastern seaboard. Do you have any idea what Justicars are? Do you have any idea?
Particularly pleasant.
Do you have any idea of who is coming to this party?
Fireproof?
I was going to say, Dr. Galen, that the last time someone tried to do something like that, there was a war along the East Coast. Are you aware of that war?
I am not.
Killed a lot of people.
Astrid, one of the guests at the party, is going to be the mother of the Daughters of Oblivion, Anita. She is ancient. She is the child of a very famous La Sombra, Montano. She is well loved, well respected. She commands the ears of the inner circle of the Camarilla. You do something to her, Myrtle Beach will not exist anymore. And the Camarilla will cover it up like they always do. All that will be left is ashes, and we will all be among it.
Victoria, if we can find a way to settle this without you declaring princedom or whatever, then I will happily leave with you. I don't want to abandon this place.
That is... maybe. That... Carino, you and I have things we must discuss outside of these politics.
Yeah.
I do not believe that we should stay here. Bethany may have told other kindred. She may have more hounds. I do not know where she was taking you, what she was doing. The prince promised that you would not be harmed by her, but I do not believe he can be trusted. His word. Hunter, do you have somewhere that we can go that is safe?
Well, I got Pirate's Adventure, and I got a trailer. Someone's already stolen a dead body from my trailer, so...
Who?
Seems like it was Grayson. Stole a white.
Oh, wait. Yes.
From this tender sugar you keep telling me about.
Yeah,
Became a white because of that.
Same guy we had, well, Anthony took out a while back.
Myrtle Beach has become such a chaotic place since I left.
Here's Frankie's apartment. It's possible we could use that momentarily, at least.
I don't want to draw attention to that.
I would say Pirate's Voyage is if the party is going to be there, it will not be broken into or destroyed in some way while we rest. And perhaps we can see what Diana Garland has done. Apparently she is quite well favored as well. The parties that she throws.
Then it's doubly safe. Let's go.
Before we go, Victoria, I have a question. Oh. No, Astrid, go ahead.
You go first. It's okay. I got it.
Victoria, when we found you,
Yes.
you were staring at a sign.
Yes.
Is there any particular reason you were staring at that sign?
Just just reminiscing of bloodier days.
I see.
Do you know who owns the building?
Should I?
I assume there is a reason that you ask.
You seemed lost in thought. Something I noticed. I noticed things.
The Madame Daran. She's quite a fighter. When you fight someone of equal skill, you come to respect them. She will also be at the party. She is in the Camarilla now.
Alright. Interesting.
She is of your clan, if I recall correctly. Do you know her?
Can't say I do.
Strange that you would bring it up then.
Again, you seemed lost in thought. I haven't seen you like that before.
I have many thoughts to get lost in Dragon. That is probably the least. Astrid, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, forgive me. My memory is a little bit foggy.
You were...
All this... Yeah, sorry?
Continue.
I just wanted to... I believe I told you I remember my sire bragging that he had diablerized the Baron.
My sire. See?
Might
I
try to
said
declare
that.
Princeton.
Okay. Yeah.
Are you asking if Dean will be prince?
He might.
He seems to have... He put all these things up in the hall. We saw him taking calls. Maybe. Could that be a plan?
I do not know, Astrid. I do not know Dean. I do not know everything that he is capable of, and I do not know his ambitions. I believe only you do.
All I can say is that the reason Grayson took me was because he wants a daughter of the night.
A daughter of Oblivion.
Oh, daughter of Oblivion, sorry. Like I said, I can't.
Do you know why he wants a daughter of Oblivion? Did he tell you?
I don't know, but Grayson grabbed me And when he was on the way back, I heard him say that, I heard him explain that to Dean, and Dean didn't seem pleased. He wanted another one. And another thing that happened,
He wanted Sarah.
I believe so, and Sarah spoke to me while I was staked in the back of the car. She said she would set me free, but not now and not there. I think she's going for him. And I don't know how she spoke to me. I don't know what she can do. But
Sarah is an enigma, I believe is the word. She's Malkavian, older than me, and has some sort of beef with the Prince of Charlotte. I do not know if it's because of when they were both mortal and he was governor of South Carolina. I do not know. I have no answers for you, Astrid. I'm sorry.
no, please don't be. I just wanted to make sure I put everything I know on the table, that I didn't forget something. I don't know Dean that well myself, so I can only speculate, but I have a lot of thoughts, and a lot of them are confusing right now. I hope I didn't. I don't know. I'm sorry.
You need some time, some recovery time from your ordeal. I believe Hunter can accommodate you with that. And she winks at you, Hunter. Dragon, are you taking the whatever he is, the hound?
Yes. I will be dealing with that tonight. I will then be disposing of the vehicle.
Understood. Shall we go, Hunter, or is there anything else? I do not feel comfortable talking here. I do not feel safe.
Nothing else from me. I just want to get out of here.
Yes,
Astrid.
I believe we should move on.
Astrid.
Mm.
Remember this. Remember what Dean was fine with doing. What he had his ghouls do to you. Remember it when you have him at your mercy. You may not get a second chance. I'm glad you're alive.
Thanks to all of you. That was the worst. I won't go into it, but
You should go into it, Astrid. The only way that we recover from these things is to say it out loud.
but not here, you said.
I do not feel comfortable here. I've done something I promised I would never do, and I broke it after 200 years.
I'm sorry.
It is not your fault. The things we do for the people that we love. And she goes to exit out of the storm cellar.
Hunter follows.
Galen, which car do you get in? The SUV with Anthony and the Ravnos, or Hunter and Astrid in the Jeep? You are muted, by the way.
I trust that Anthony can handle himself and get this information himself. I think I could maybe be of some assistance with Astrid and their quest against Dean, I guess you could say.
Well, everyone is heading to Pirate's Voyage to recoup.
Yeah.
The night is waning. It is about 4 a.m.
Okay. Well, then you know what? I'll go with Astrid and yeah.
Okay. So, Anthony, you pile the Ravnos into the SUV. Are you going to Pirate's Voyage, or are you going elsewhere?
No.
You have your own establishment, your motel room.
That's right, but I don't want to use the motel room. I was planning to stay in the clinic to do this. That's why I
Understood.
asked for a soundproofed room.
Understood. So you are staying there. You planning on spending the day there as well?
Yes, I believe so.
Understood. So as Anthony stays there, the rest of the coterie piles into Hunter's Jeep. Victoria asks for your keys. Seems like she needs a little bit of a release. Do you give them to her, Hunter?
I do.
4 successes. It is a quite pleasant ride back. Hunter and Astrid in the back, and Galen in the passenger seat.
I spend the rest of the time until dawn cleaning up outside of the clinic. So the vehicle with the sword in it, is that still there?
Yes.
Does it have a key in it? Is it one of theirs?
You find a key in the pile of ashes where all of the bugs have now died.
I move the vehicles away, spread them out as far as I can, knowing I will be able to be back before dawn, just to make sure that there's no obvious vehicles outside. I take the electronic equipment out of the SUV, and I drive the SUV into the forest and leave it
Behind Galen's clinic is an abandoned golf course and an abandoned condominium unit. You can leave
Perfect. Leave it there.
there. Hunter, Astrid, Galen, Victoria drives you to Pirate's Voyage. If there's anything you'd like to discuss on the way, you can. Or would you like to just have a nice moment of silence?
As they're driving... Oh, you first.
So I was just going to thank everybody again for coming for me. I've seemingly done everything in my power to repel you guys, and still, you've come through. I
Well,
appreciate that.
whatever repellent things you've done, you have also been both an asset and somewhat of a good friend.
Thank you, Hunter.
It's still an asshole, but
That
I've
was
met plenty
never
of
out of the
assholes.
question.
Astrid manages to chuckle at this exchange. She seems very quiet, but she does, like, after they're done talking and stuff, she reaches out and she caresses Hunter's cheek just to get his attention.
good evening. He was like clearly like zoning out somewhere.
Thank you for making sure things went along okay, and for coming for me too. This is... Dean is such a pain in the ass. I didn't mean him to become anyone else's pain in the ass. It was enough that he was mine. But I don't think I can do this on my own. I couldn't, clearly. So, thanks for the help. I am sorry I walked away from you guys. I saw this girl. I didn't know he came out of nowhere. I couldn't...
There are things that you don't need to explain because they're outside of your control. I've spent a lot of years trying to make sure that, well, I can hold as many cards as possible, but the good people that are good at gambling, they play the cards they have against the cards that everyone else thinks they've got. Fooling people and being fooled ain't anything to be sorry about. You just have to make sure it doesn't happen twice. You'll be prepared next time. You're smart enough. And, well, you got us now. You got me.
Your problems are ours.
Well, thank you. Let's just hope we can get rid of them before they can get rid of us.
I like the
That
sound of
sounded very depressing, but it is the most uplifting thing that I could have said since this whole thing happened to me. So
It's been working so far. We're all still alive, barely.
yeah.
Astrid, you become aware, now that you've come back to yourself, the vials for your Cling of the Insect ritual, and your phone is not in your pocket anymore. I believe maybe you lost them.
She pats herself down a little bit and doesn't say anything.
As Victoria pulls into Pirate's Voyage, she was silent on the ride. Galen, since you would have been sitting next to her, she seems not only deep in thought, but maybe melancholy would be the word. And she pulls
Victoria,
in.
can you and I
How do you
speak after, before we, I guess you could say, go to sleep for the day?
Of
We
course.
should have a conversation.
Of course. Do you all enter into Pirate's Voyage? Do you enter into the back that leads directly to the private quarters, or do you enter through the lobby to maybe get a peek at what Diana has done?
Hunter goes in through the front. I don't know about anyone else.
I am not going in through the front. I am a wanted man.
Victoria goes in through the front. She is not aware of any private quarters in Pirate's Voyage.
Victoria, perhaps you should follow us instead of...
Well,
okay.
Hunter's going into the front.
Well,
And you have never stayed here either, Galen. You wouldn't know
so I'm
about the
just
private
also-
quarters.
yeah,
yeah.
Astrid also just following.
Yeah. Unfortunately. Always stayed at your clinic. Inside you walk. Hunter, she's changed everything. The pirate theme of Pirate's Voyage has been entirely covered up. It's strung now with velvets and satins, black, silver, shimmering in the light, some gold strings here and there. The only way you could describe the decor that she's changed Pirate's Voyage to is shades of decadence. There's a DJ booth that's been set up, makeshift stages, all of your slot machines, all of your tables for cards and roulette and all of the gambling that you do has been moved. You don't know where it is. Hopefully Caden instructed her to move it somewhere that you'll be able to get it back out. But it's void of it. It's now a dance floor, a stage, places to set out goblets of blood, you assume. It's everything that reminds you of that Camarilla party you already attended, except better. Even
Nice.
more exquisite.
He tries to prevent himself from openly retching at this decor. And it's just like, they always go for the same damn things. Did they not ever go anywhere that wasn't a fucking castle? This place is bleak. It's gross. And he's just like constantly a barrage of like insults about the decor.
Victoria offhandedly comments, "Try going to Elysium 200 years in a row."
I bet
it like
that
this every
same
night?
party gets fucking boring, right?
Not really here to party. It's for politics. connections. It's who we are.
No one wants to have a good time while they're doing that? Or at least
Depends.
pretend. Ugh. I've changed my mind. Burn this place down, Doctor.
I
Victoria
left all the gas back in the...
pats you on the shoulder. It gets easier with time. And supposedly it is only for one night.
Well, depends who's prince, right? King, whatever.
I do not
I
believe
like
they
the
will
pirate.
take your domain, Hunter. I do not believe it.
Well, if they do, I don't know if I've mentioned this. I'm Clan Ravnos. We have no fixed abode most of the time. I like this place, I really do.
I've known a few tricksters in my day.
Let's get somewhere that shouldn't have been touched by her.
And you
I
lead them upstairs?
Yeah, I lead them through to the private quarters areas. Like, you can sleep here. It'll be safe from the sun. There's, like, refreshments if you're into that. And there's various forms of entertainment and places to sit. Pretty cushy.
Do you give Victoria and Galen a quarters of their own,
Yes.
so to speak? Okay. And Astrid, do you, again, take up Hunter's quarters with him?
Well, I ask,
Well,
would you stay with me again, please?
whatever you say.
I don't want to be alone right now.
Me either.
Anthony, you have set your victim in the way that you prefer. You feel that everything is exactly as it should be for you to do what you are so very good at.
Right. Having found out by Galen, I assume what clan this person is, having had a small conversation with Hunter, how do they use their powers? This chicken this illusion magic? Is it with their eyes?
Hunter would have, like, stared you down and just said, I don't want to reveal all my tricks, but if I can see you, I can make you think what I want.
Good, thank you. Does that include sunglasses? Right. I have kept one of his eyes. I've removed the other one.
Mm-hmm. Is he still staked?
He's still staked.
Mm-hmm.
Did this, of course, methodically. I have fused skin of his eyelid closed. The other eye is closed right now. So if you want me to roll for that, I can.
I do not think that you have to. He is immobile.
Right.
An object like a sword preventing you from doing what you want, but there is nothing preventing you from doing what you want.
So, there is no one else here, correct?
No.
Good. It's been a while since I did this. I'm going to take out the stake from his chest, toss it in a corner.
The fuck are you?
It's interesting, I was just going to start talking about that.
Why can I only see through one eye?
Well, the other one is missing. For now.
Is he tied?
He's tied back. I've been very thorough. This is not my first time. It's not my first rodeo. You're the hound of the sheriff. Clan Ravnos. Been in town long? I would presume not.
No.
Alright. How old are you?
Which age do you want to know?
Either or. Were you around in the 90s? Early aughts? Were you one of us
No.
then?
No.
Well then.
Not a
Going to
lot of
ask-
mine made it out in the 90s.
No, I can imagine. I heard something about that. So, then you were probably not around during the war going on around the East Coast. But I'm assuming you're aware of the Sabbat.
Not really.
And then this doesn't mean anything to you?
It does, but
Right.
not because of the Sabbat.
Well, you see, we used to run the Sabbat. Ever been to the old country? Europe, Romania? You know?
From
back there.
Miami, dude.
All right. This is going to be very educational for you. I'm going to start asking you questions in a while, but I do like to make a show of it.
Are you gonna kill me? Is that
It
what
really
this is?
depends. It really depends. Kind of depends on your answers and depends on my mood. It depends on whether or not you want it at the end.
Look, I was running with Bethany because she promised me shit. She's dead. She can't give it to me no more. I'll tell you what you want to know if you let me go.
Come on. You don't want to
I
make it
ain't-
entertaining for me?
Not really. Sick fuck.
I had this whole thing planned out. But you know what?
I think you need a hobby or
I do have a
boyfriend.
hobby. I do have a hobby. As for my romantic interests, I'd like you not to ask about that. Are you aware of how much wall space your skin can cover?
I think you know I don't know the answer to that question.
So let's get started with that. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions, and I've found that even if people are telling me they're telling me the truth, a little bit of pain just greases the wheels a little bit.
You just get off on this, don't you?
No, I really don't.
So why are you doing it? I'll tell you
Because
what you want to
I'm-
know. I don't care. I don't care about the camera roll. I don't care about the anarchs. I was in this for a boon, for
For a boon.
something better. Yeah, Bethany told me she was going to kill her brother even though he was under the protection of the prince, and then I or Declan was going to be sheriff
Then why isn't the doctor dead?
because I don't know, why does supervillains monologue?
She had him for hours.
She wanted him to be willing. I guess that's what she kept saying.
All right, that's what she kept telling you. What did you?
No, that's what she kept telling him.
What did your friend hear from us in the car?
What friend?
The one that's a pile of ashes and dead bugs.
The fuck am I supposed to know what he heard?
He didn't tell you anything?
What are you
thought-
asking me for?
Because you're
Dec-
one of them.
Declan was about as smart as a pile of mud.
All right. But he had his bugs in our car.
Yeah, to follow you. They can't listen on you.
It's good
It's
to
not
know.
like literal, like, wireless bugs, like in the movies.
All right.
Like
How long have
bugs,
you
like
been
the
in
ones
the
that fly,
Camarilla?
like insects.
How long have you been in the Camarilla?
2 years, 3 years? Maybe not even.
Before that?
For that, I just fucked off wherever I wanted to.
All right. And how long have you been in South Carolina?
2 years, 3 years.
All right. So you came here, you joined
They
the
recruit.
Camarilla.
They recruited me.
Okay.
One Bethany coming down from Charlotte. I'm not from Myrtle Beach. I was in Greenville.
Pleasant place.
Not really. What do you want from me, man?
I want to
Bethany's
know everything.
dead.
Yeah, I want to know everything. What is the prince planning? But obviously,
I
the wrong
fucking
person
know.
was
He's
killed.
never talked to me before. Yeah. So either kill me or jerk off or whatever it is that you're gonna do, because this is like this is like snuff film shit.
Well, all right. You know what? I'm going to ask you another thing. Bethany said she knew where the Second Inquisition were.
Yeah. Hmm.
Where are they?
She traced them to a church, and
Mhm.
after the church, she said they moved. She didn't tell me where, though.
You sure about that?
Yeah, she didn't tell me where.
What, you were just waiting around while she was doing her own thing?
I did what she told me to do. Most of the time, that was to cloak us.
All right. Do you know who's in the Second Inquisition? Their faces, their names, anything?
Nope.
Huh.
You can torture me all you want. I don't have the information for you. I mean, I can tell you who is making the tender sugar. It's the people on the riverboat. We were there to destroy the riverboat to sink it. But while we were all cloaked, Declan saw Galen. So
you were going to get rid of the problem with the riverboat. Why you want to get rid of the tender sugar? I mean...
The prince told Bethany to take care of it.
All right.
As far as I know. And I've never fucking talked to the guy.
Good to know. About the prince, what do you know about him?
He likes to play the violin.
Yeah. Okay. Looks like we've got
his ghoul's real important to him. She dresses like she's cosplaying Marie Antoinette or something.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Anything else? Big man.
What were you doing before you became a vampire?
I was a porn star.
Wow. Career climber. All right. Well,
hey, don't shame sex work.
I am not shaming.
How old are you anyway?
What's with the attitude? You got a death wish, so that's what's going on.
If you knew anything about my clan, we're all about the death wish, baby. It's in our blood. Ask the other one, your buddy there, what happens if he stays in one place too long.
Oh yeah, I know.
Do you?
I know.
Then why are you asking such stupid questions?
Didn't know if it was a clan thing or not.
Okay. I didn't have Ravnos in the support.
We had a few. Actually, I would assume that your sire was one of ours.
Dunno.
You don't know them?
No, he fucked me, embraced me, and left.
Jesus Christ. Alright. You know, I was here looking for a reason to kill you. Got anything that I can use?
The fact that I'm another vampire who drinks blood and then on your turf is not enough. I hear some older vampires in the Elysium talking about the jihad, which I don't know, just sounds racist.
Yeah. Yeah, no shit. Got any friends in the Camarilla here?
Not anymore.
Alright.
That whoever that woman was, don't piss her off.
No, I know.
She controls birds.
That's not the freakiest thing she can do, I'm assuming. Tell you what, I'm gonna ask you here. If I let you go, where are you gonna go?
Probably back to Miami.
You're from Miami and you don't know anything about the Sabbat. This is really rich. Alright.
I was embraced like 8 years ago. So.
Right. Right.
I don't know what you want from me, my guy.
I don't want anything more. This was a complete waste of time. Both yours and mine.
Look, Bethany gave me something to do. She gave me protection, somewhere to stay. Friendship, I guess. Companionship, so it wasn't alone every day. Or every night. So that was enough for now, anyway. And now it's gone, and we move on with our lives.
No one else. No one in Miami. Nothing.
No one like us.
Fuck. I'm going to stake you, and I'm going to leave you. I'm going to bring you to a car, unstake you, and you're going to get the fuck out of this city.
I like release him like one of those animals.
Yeah,
Back into the
exactly
wild.
like one of those animals. Run free, be happy, be with your own kind, whatever.
No promises that I'll be happy, but I can jive with that.
All right. God. All right.
As you stake him, and do as you were going to do, you need to be quick about it.
Yeah.
Sun is on its way. Galen. Oh, yes. Sorry.
No. Nothing else.
Galen, you and Victoria have your own quarters.
Mm-hmm.
Victor, before you go into your room, Hunter, she pops her head out and asks if there's any way you could have clothes sent here for tomorrow evening.
Whatever you want, I can get for you.
A dress with pockets, perhaps.
Well, I mean, I'm not a mage. I can't make the impossible happen. You can have pockets or you can have the dress.
I'll take the dress, Hunter. Thank you. And she closes the door. You wanted to talk, Carino?
Yeah. I need to know what the fuck's going on. Are you trying to blood bond me?
No.
Okay.
If I wanted to blood bond you, I would have done it a long time ago and forced you to leave this horrible town. I only wanted to make sure you did not hurt your friend.
I agree with you that we do need to leave. It was silly of me, childish, to try to hold on to my life like that. At the end of the day, we should get out of here at some point, but I can't leave these people to deal with what's coming on their own. I couldn't ever live that down.
I understand, and I wouldn't ask it of you.
So if you'd help me with this, if you do this one thing with me, I will absolutely go wherever you want.
I fear, Gillen, it may be too late for us.
Why do you say that?
Talking with the Camarilla kindred. I have, I'm old. It's not something a woman likes to say, but I was embraced. I was born in the year that the American colonies declared their independence. It's the year I was born. I was not in America, of course. It's in Cuba. But I always fed off of animals. Always. Did not want to eat people, hurt people. My sire was my father. He came back to get me after he became kindred, and he lost control and almost killed me, embraced me instead. So I never wanted to do that. But I am so old now. Feeding off of animals, it is not enough anymore. I need to drink mortals to survive. And I'm afraid the Camarilla kindred, they talk about elders being called away, a force calling them away to the east. I am afraid that is coming for me too.
What do you mean a force? Like a pigeon going home?
I do not know, Carino. They say these things. Their sires are gone. Their grandsires are gone. One night they say, I feel a call to go, and then they are gone. And I'm afraid it will come for me too.
We know where they go. They just head east.
Nobody knows. And I need you to promise me something, Gillen. If I say to you, I feel the pull, I feel the call, you must take me. All of me. Do not let me go. Let me give you my power. And then it will be done.
All
I
right.
do not want my free will stripped from me. I'd rather give it to you.
I understand that.
Do you promise?
Trust me, I understand that. I do.
Okay.
I promise you.
I do not know what tomorrow will be. I'm so very tired and frightened. Carino.
Me too. Me too. It's these past few nights have just been insane. I'm not sure what to say beyond that. Everything's come crashing down.
She touches your face. Well, at least you are here.
Yeah. At least we're here. At least we have each other, right? For now.
Yeah. For now. Anthony and Hunter. The sun is rapid.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. Anthony and Hunter. Astrid and Hunter. The sun is approaching. You have a few moments if you'd like to take them. And Kitsu, you're muted, by the way.
The odds are against us.
This is true.
I came to get you because I've become very fond of you. And, well, I think I'd like for you to stick around on a more permanent basis. If that's something you want.
That's really sweet of you. Yeah. I think I'd like that. Sticking around and staying here, and that sounds better than where I was left off before, for sure. But you were talking about, you know, this blowing this whole place up. And the odds being against us and everything going, look, if everything goes to shit, let's just, all four of us, let's just pack and go. I got places, I do have some funds if you want to rebuild. I don't know if it's going to be enough, but we don't gotta, if this is a losing battle, we don't gotta stay. I think. I mean, I feel so useless. I don't have powers like everyone, like not everyone, but the majority of others do. I can fire a gun and not even that well. But with time, and we do have time if we are clever about it, we can become as strong as Victoria, and then the odds will be in our favor if we really wanted to. So
I like your optimism.
Comes to first. Well, I'm not a very optimistic person, but I do see this coming, and it's just logical that if we really stick this out, if we really want to win, And the odds are against us now. Let's wait it out. Let's get the power. Let's find the ways to come back. And to make sure that everyone who's ever wanted to hurt us either bows down crying or dies. And I don't want to make this my life sentence. Unlife sentence, whatever you want it. Like, I don't know if I'm spouting nonsense, so tell me if I am. But if it is a cutthroat world, and if Camarilla's really this awful and we can't survive inside of it, and if everyone's against us, and if the alternative is to just, burn up and die, then I don't know. There's other things. There must be other things out there that are worth checking out.
Well, and Hunter, like, at the mention of the funds, he hands you your phone back.
Huh? Oh,
You can dwell on the things that people have done to you in the past, and I'm not going to stop you. I think I would prefer to make something that they can't take away from us. They can't take away how I feel about you. Those decisions are yet to be made. I'm sorry. We get some rest.
She goes to cup his face as she kisses him very slowly and gently.
Yeah.
Okay.
As we fade from that, back to Anthony.
I would like to make a wits insight roll.
Into the Ravnos.
Right, as I'm considering my next move.
Please do so.
Arouse the blood. So let me do that, and then we'll see. I'm going to see if his story checks out to me.
Mm-hmm.
So that is insight, wits. I'm going to use a point of willpower to reroll 3 of those. That is a critical.
A messy critical.
A messy critical. 6 successes.
With a messy crit.
Yes.
He is telling the truth, Anthony. He's useless to you.
Yeah.
There's no reason for him to be here. Wasted your time.
He's not useless to me.
He is useless. And you're going to bite in and drink on him.
Right.
If you'd like to stop before you drain him completely, you can. But I will need a willpower roll.
I'll drain him.
You do so.
Yeah.
Do you attempt to Diablerize him?
Yes.
Okay. I believe I will need strength and resolve rolls. 3 of them. For a cumulative amount of successes.
Zero on the first roll.
You may try twice more. You better roll well. That
2.
is not a critical. 2 successes. 1 more.
Oh wait. Strength. I cannot boost this with my blood.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
I will do so for the last one. I passed that. So, strength resolve. It's 2. It is 3 more successes. 5 in total.
Not quite enough.
Oh well.
And as you drain him, you feel that spark of who he was pass through your mind and then dissipate. It does not stick with you, gives you no additional sustenance or power. He was as nothing as he was when he was still seated in front of you. And as the sun begins to rise, all of you feel that undead slumber approaching. Anthony, in maybe a bit dour states, as he lays down on Galen's bed to spend his day sleep. Hunter and Astrid in a rather touching embrace before the sleep overtakes them. Galen and Victoria, too, together in their own room. You all have a party waiting for you tomorrow, and whatever that may bring. Guests, possibly a new prince of Myrtle Beach. But that will have to be for our next session. Session 7, the finale of Blood on the Grand Strand, Breath from the Shadows, where we will be joined by a very special guest. Well, announced now, Syrinx. We can't wait to have her come play with us. So I want to thank everybody. You guys did amazing. You lived. I'm so happy. How is everybody feeling?
That was pretty brutal. So, thank you, Huddy.
It could have been way worse if I had rolled like I did before.
Well, I mean, we had some bad luck as well. We all ended up at like Hunger 4 at one point. Mm-hmm. That was pretty
almost
intense.
All of you had aggravated damage except for Hunter, I think.
No, Hunter got his hand burnt. He still does.
Hunter got aggravated damage, right? So all of you will have to deal with that before you go to the party.
Oh yeah.
I only now realize, of course, that I will not be spending the night with my treasured belongings and will thus be gaining 2 points of aggravated willpower damage for tomorrow.
Yes, and Hunter also needs to make a, before actually we go, I'd love for Josh to roll me 2d10, please.
It's just 2d, yeah.
I love it. I just want to see.
Oh no!
Did you?
Oh no.
I got a 10.
So, just as an aside, as Astrid and Hunter are having an intimate moment, Hunter, you receive another aggravated damage. First, maybe you think that, wow, I really do like her. Something is kicking up inside of me.
Is it
but
hot
no,
in here?
It is the bane of your clan acting up as the day sleep takes you. So that is a second aggravated damage for you, Hunter. You are not going, none of you are good, except for Astrid, are going to look very good at this party.
No.
Ironically, the only person that was actually staked for the majority of today.
No, Galen was staked too. Harry, you're muted, by the way.
Yeah, I was staked too. You're not the only one who got messed up.
You were staked too, yeah.
Harry has like 3, what do you have?
Three aggravated, yeah.
Damage?
All completely self-inflicted, by the way.
Excuse you. Yeah, I know. I totally was asking for it, but like,
what are you gonna do?
threw
Throw
the
a knife at me? Oh, you threw a knife at me.
How? Who would do this?
That came totally out of nowhere. So
But not all of it self-inflicted. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm very, like I said, I'm very happy you guys survived. Super happy about it. I hope you're all feeling okay, although your characters are kind of in bad shape.
Not feeling great.
It's going to be one hell of a last episode. And you can catch that in a couple of weeks, everyone. Thank you for watching. And an additional thank you to our Raiders Adventure Tavern. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Raiders.
Thank you, everyone, for coming.
And until next time,
Hey.
goodbye, everyone.
Wait. Can I share something?
Yeah.
And we also need to raid, but yeah.
Oh, yeah, I was going to end the recording first, but yeah.
Bear with me for a second. I've got a kitty here.
Oh, that's important.
Free hugs here. Aww.
Oh, he's so cute cat. Oh, I'm jealous of you. I wish I wasn't so allergic to cats.
I wish I had
Aw.
a cat. I wish I had a pet.
Hello. He's been here keeping me company.
He's shy.
But yes.
Looking away.
So cute. So cute.
But yes, thank you. Sorry for the random.
So handsome.
No, that was essential to our lives. Thank you
Yeah.
for the
Very
serotonin.
important.
Bye, everyone.
Goodbye.
people.